So I'm Nicole Dufour. I work for the Institute of Professional Practice. I'm from New Hampshire, and primarily I am a home care provider. My husband and I have been doing adult foster care for over 25 years for the same person. What does it mean? It means to help a person live the life that they want to live. We have these conceptions about what's important, but it's really about individuals. We all have our different ideas of what's important to us. And, for me, it's about looking at that person, what's important to them, and how are they going to live the life that they want to live. I came into this field, I just fell into it. I just fell in. I saw an ad for an Awake Overnight. I was home on winter break. I thought, oh, well, I can fill in for a couple of weeks until they fill the position. I applied. They had me working over 40 hours during the day, and then when I came home at the end of the spring semester, they took me right back, and I've been there ever since. It's been over 30 years.